There is a space, a sacred, often uncomfortable space, between asking for something and actually receiving it. Most people rush to label that space as waiting, but I've come to realize it's something else entirely. It's becoming. The time between asking and receiving your wish is not a void. It's a process, a preparation, a sacred recalibration. This morning, I sat in silence for 10 minutes. No music, no scrolling, no plans, just stillness. And you think 10 minutes would be easy, but it's not. Because the modern world is designed to drown out our own voice. We've been programmed to live in noise, to consume, not to contemplate. So this simple act of turning down the volume of the world is the first step in turning up the volume of the soul. And in that stillness, something surfaced. A thought. Who've I become and how far I've come? If the version of me from a year ago saw me now, he wouldn't recognize me. Not because of superficial success, but because of the internal shift. Because the truth is, we're always living inside of the thoughts we once projected, whether we're aware of it or not. I found one of my old journals, and as I flipped through those pages, I actually came across something that I had written almost exactly 9 months ago. It was a vision, a thought I couldn't shake at the time, so I just wrote it down. And as I read it, I realized that the thought had become my life. The dream had manifested, the vision had taken root, and it took 9 months. Like the time it takes to form a human being in the womb. That realization hit me deep because we tend to want instant miracles, but the universe, much like nature, works in seasons, not seconds. When I first wrote that dream down, I wasn't yet the person who could receive it, and that's something we often ignore. The delay between asking and receiving is rarely about the universe holding back. It's about life getting you in alignment with the version of yourself that can hold what you've asked for. It's about frequency. You may want the dream, but can you hold it? Are you living at the frequency of the thing you desire? Because if not, the universe, loving as it is, won't deliver it just yet. And this isn't punishment. This is grace. Carl Jung said, "You do not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." That's what the space is for. The becoming phase is not just a countdown. It's a confrontation, a revealing of everything that stands in the way of you and your dream. Your fears, your habits, your doubts, your need for control, your scarcity, your limiting beliefs. They all rise to the surface, not to punish you, but to be healed. So that when your dream arrives, you don't sabotage it. So that when it comes, you're not overwhelmed by the blessings, but ready to receive it with joy, gratitude, and wisdom. I remember back in 2011, I wanted a Jeep Wrangler, a bright yellow, a symbol of freedom. I had just moved to Florida and was working, making money, and I thought I was ready. I walked into the dealership thinking this was my moment, but when they checked my credit, they said, hell no. I was furious. I had the desire, I had the vision, but I didn't yet have the foundation. And that no became a sacred redirect. It forced me to confront what I didn't know about my finances. It sparked a new path, one where I learned how to manage my money, fix my credit, and eventually help others do the same. That no turned me into a counselor, a coach, someone who empowers people to build their lives from the inside out. And years later, when I finally got the Jeep, I didn't just receive the car, I received the character. This is what I've learned. The time between asking and receiving is a sacred construction site of your character. It's not just about getting what you want, it's about becoming who you need to be. As the Stoics remind us, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. I like to think of it as a download. You ask for something, and that request is uploaded into the universe. But then your system needs time to prepare. Your internal software, that's your beliefs, your emotional resilience, your identity, needs an upgrade. Some downloads are quick, some take hours, and in my case with the Jeep, some take years. Not because they're broken, but because you're still installing what's required to live in that version of reality. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. Even nature reflects this. During the pandemic, I tried my hand at gardening. I did sunflowers, tomatoes, basil. I wasn't good at it. And most of the plants actually didn't make it, unfortunately. But I also had plants that were already rooted even before I was there in my backyard. I had a full-grown banana tree and a mango tree in my yard. And that thing grew regardless. Because it wasn't me that was keeping it going. It was nature that kept doing its part. And even when I stopped, whether that was the pruning or taking out the weeds, the rain still came. The sun still rose. And over time, without me even trying, that tree bore fruit. And it does till this day. That's the duality of co-creation. Sometimes you plant the seed and nurture it daily. Other times you do your part, clear the weeds, and let nature take over. Either way, the fruit comes, but it comes in season. So ask yourself, what are you planting? What are you pruning? What are you preparing for? Because if a dream has been placed on your heart, it means it's already possible. It already exists in the quantum field of potential. Now the question is, are you becoming the person who can receive it? And here's the truth. If you don't do the inner work, even if the dream arrives, you won't keep it. You'll either sabotage it or not appreciate it because you brought the old you into the new life. So many people do that. They manifest the thing but never transform themselves, and they end up feeling empty. Don't be that person. Face your shadow. Watch your habits and observe your thoughts, because when you choose to become conscious, you can never go back. Once you see your patterns, once you witness your internal programming, you're already halfway transformed. You can't unknow it. And even if it takes days, weeks, or months to embody the new pattern, you're no longer asleep. That alone is progress. So if you're in a space between asking and receiving, don't fear it, don't rush it, live in it, learn from it, and trust that this delay is the universe's way of shaping you into the version of you that can fully, joyfully receive the gift you've been praying for. The dream is real, but so is the work. And the moment you begin to become the person aligned with that dream, that's when everything begins to move. because you become the frequency of what you ask for. The universe delivers it effortlessly. And you look back like I did with my journal and realize it didn't take forever. It took exactly the time it needed. And this, my friends, is the aligned frequency.